Hello and welcome to Let's Ride with Stonewolf. Wow, it's a little wet, but we're in Rowsley again, and we're just gonna go over this way again. But we're gonna deflect off the route we took at the way out. Unfortunately, we're going the same way as this van. Please give me the opportunity to pass. You dick. There we go. I came down this before, and it's kind of an interesting one. I kind of didn't know that this road was here until like a friend took me on it from the other direction. But it's just a little winder, which you don't get a whole lot of these in the UK. You don't get a whole lot of switchbacks. It's quite steep. It's very cambered. Yeah. It's a bit of a different one, you know? This isn't a road I would normally come on because like the junction that we're coming up to, up here, I normally go a different way when I get to it, because normally I want to go like that way, which is out the back of Chatsworth House, whereas if you come down this way you end up going around the front of Chatsworth House, which is like meh, boring. But today we're gonna go this way. And we're gonna go the reverse direction of some of our NC500 POV footage. Oh, I think I actually had it titled Across the Peaks. I'm gonna stay at this speed. Fingers are cold. It's really annoying, actually. It's colder up here. My thermometer's dropped like down to 8 degrees from 10. My thermometer is pretty enthusiastic. I reckon that's like 5 or less. Maybe like 4 or so. In reality. Which is pretty bad for, like, you know, March, the end of March. But I guess if you're binge watching this series, I've complained about it in like the last several episodes, so I'll shut up about it. But yeah, it's extremely annoying. You know what else is annoying? Twitter. Twitter is annoying. Twitter has always been annoying, but like it's always been annoying in a way where it's like, yeah, I can put up with the annoyingness of this platform. But of course, since the last Let's Ride, there have been some developments in Twitter. Oh yeah. It may surprise you to learn that despite my love of electric vehicles, I do not have much love for Elon Musk. And the directions that he has taken Twitter in are, no thanks. And it was alright when it was just like dumb shit, like the stupid checkmark thing, which I never understood. Like, the blue checkmark was there for a reason. And people are just like, no, this is my, like, status symbol, checkmark. I want a checkmark for status, because these people have checkmark, and that's their status. It's just like, that's not what it's for! The checkmark is there to say that this is the person who they say they are. It's just, such, really infuriating stuff. And like, Twitter Blue. Here's the thing, I would pay for Twitter. Right? I would pay for Twitter if it was worth paying for Twitter. Which it could be. It could very easily be worth paying for Twitter if I didn't have ads. If I could pay for Twitter, not have ads, you know, have a few simple features that are accessible to paid users. If I could, like, have age verification by dint of being paid for, like, lock my account away from people who don't have age verification. There's all kinds of, like, just simple stuff like that that people would pay for, that I would pay for, but none of that is what they want to do. So, like, the whole, like, the feature stuff, and, like, that firing everyone, randomly shutting down bits of the service. So, infuriating, right? And this is history now, because all this happened in, like, December or something. But, end of November, I stopped using Twitter. Just like, end of November, I was just like, okay, I am logging all of my accounts except for one out. And that one account is really heavily insulated from a lot of what's going on Twitter. So it's the only one I have on my phone. And I've just been hiding away in that little corner of the internet, talking about very specific things. And I've not been on any of, like, my main or my first set accounts or any of that stuff at all. I occasionally, like, every day I'll log in and check my notifications, and I will retweet things if someone mentions me, and I will do scheduled tweets. I do scheduled tweets just to promote my videos. And that's basically all that I use my main Twitter for. And wait, screwed that up. Yeah, that's all that I use my main Twitter for. And the reason why is because of the moderation changes. Where he's just like, no, I'm gonna unban all of the worst people on Twitter. Like, the people who are banned for a really good reason. All of the right-wing nuts, all of, like, the homophobes, the people who'd be banned for hate speech, the literal Nazis, just all of those guys unbanned. Like, I don't agree with it. And I don't think it's okay. I think it seriously diminishes the platform. Because, like, those people are the people who make Twitter shit. It's not banning people for saying things that makes Twitter shit. It's people having just open season on you. and I just don't agree with it. And like I said, like my other account that I keep using, it's really heavily insulated from all that kind of thing. But my main is very exposed to it. So I just like, yeah, basically, I haven't quite left Twitter, but I've mostly left Twitter. And I miss a lot of stuff. Like, it's not like, oh, I left Twitter and my life is so much better. No. I am the guy who sat down and said, but what if Twitter is better? What would that look like? You know? Because it's like, Twitter has been an important part of my life for the last many years. Like, it's one of the ways I keep in touch with people. And as said before, like, maintaining passive contact with people is very hard. Or maintaining active contact, rather, with people is very hard when you lack passive contact. And Twitter, for all its good and ill, is a vector for passive contact. Right? It's a vector for people just appearing on your timeline and be like, hey, I love that person. You know? Whereas, like, if you don't have that, you could forget about someone who you really enjoy hanging out with if, like, they live a couple hundred miles away and you just don't, like, have meetups and things where you meet up with them. Yeah, like I really miss Twitter. And I've spent a lot more time on like that one Twitter account that I still have. Way more time than it really warrants. But yeah. I miss it. But it's very hard to see how it could be replaced. Like, there's gonna be like 100 million people in my comments being like, oh, Mastodon, blah blah blah. I'm like, no. Mastodon, I looked into it and I really don't feel like it fits in that space for me. Not for me. Maybe for you it does, but I'm not you. And I don't know what would. I had thought about, obviously a Woodiverse is dead, but I have thought about another project. But the problem with that project is the same problem that I have with the Woodiverse, which is that I need to have time and energy to work on it, and I have like a full-time job. I can't feel where the lens of the camera is, by the way, when I'm wiping it. Because my fingers are too bloody cold. So, apologies if I missed. But yeah, and there are other alternatives that exist. There are a whole bunch of like Twitter 2.0 things. It is like, this is very Woodiverse, and that's kind of a problem because why would you just make Twitter again? Like, for all that Twitter was important to me, and I spent a lot of time with it, and it was a significant tool for staying in contact with people and all this stuff, and for all that I miss it, it's an extraordinarily flawed platform. That's kind of why I'm angry at Elon Musk for, like, buying it and not fixing it. And just doing loads of wild shit. Like, those were not the things that Twitter needed. But oh well. You know, this is what happens in a world dominated by billionaires. It's not about the functionality that we care about, it's whatever they care about. And Twitter may yet die, you know? I'm not convinced that it's actually profitable in its current form. I do know, like, you could absolutely make Twitter profitable. It's just that I don't think Elon Musk can. And the wild thing about it is, I mean, it really was just a dropping of the veil. A lot of people knew that Elon Musk was just like an ass. And that's fine. We thought it was at least a competent ass. But an ass nonetheless. And it turns out that, no, actually, at all of his other companies, the whole structure of the company is oriented around controlling Elon Musk. Right, it's like the pointy-haired boss thing. It's like, you always present two options, one of which is, like, inherently terrible, and one of which is the thing you want to do. Like, his other companies just have these huge structures that are all based around, like, managing Elon. And Twitter doesn't have that, because Twitter used to be run by people who, like, may not have been doing the best job, but were at least trying to do the job, as opposed to what Elon is doing, which is just like whatever mad shit comes into his head. And it's been a weird experience. A really genuinely weird experience to see, like, because it happened so publicly as well. Like, just to finally see just this unfiltered collapse in the reputation of someone who has such a cult following. But, you know, he has billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. Even with all of the losses that he's taken, he's still one of the richest men in the world. And he's a loon. Yeah, like, the thing is, like, because he's got all that money, and because the world is oriented the way that it is, like, his lunacy is something that everyone's gonna dance around. You have to pay attention to him because he has all of the money and the money transits directly into power and influence. It's the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. And I would hope that, having lived through the last few years, people would understand that that is a terrible way to organize a society. But you know what? Probably don't. Well, that's cool. That is actually really cool. I wonder what it is. I bet it's a house. Do you know what? I bet it is someone's mansion. If it was an office or a store or something like that, that'd be different, but I bet it's someone's mansion. I mean, it looks cool, you know, it's aesthetically pleasing. I like the style. But I bet it's just some rich guy's mansion. Still, I mean, even if it is some rich guy's mansion, at least, like, it looks cool. At least it's not like a twee little stone cottage thing. I guess a twee little stone cottage would be fine, but like a rich guy's conception of a twee little stone cottage is like a 14-bedroom manse that has the trappings of a twee little stone cottage. Like, at least it is something that requires imagination, I think is what I'm trying to say. I guess that brings me like full circle, like back around to my house, because I hate the aesthetic of my house, because it's made of brick, and it's got that stupid render panel on the front. The render panel, by the way, has a totally different structure to the rest of the house. That means it's uninsulated, and I can't insulate it because it doesn't have a proper cavity. Purely for aesthetics. The rest of the house is quite well insulated, but not that one panel. And I don't know what to do about it. Basically, the whole rest of my house is brick on the outside and masonry, like concrete masonry on the inside, with like a 10-centimeter gap filled with fluffy insulating stuff. But that one bit is like, I think it's 3 centimeters between 2 layers of concrete block, and it's just air. It's so bad. Anyway, this is basically us coming back to the start of this little day out. So, if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Check out some of my other videos, you might enjoy them too. If you do, consider subscribing so you can get more. And hit the bell so you can be notified. And as ever, if you would like to reward me for entertaining you today, you can find my Ko-fi link in the description below. Bye bye.